Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out, join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.
Good morning and welcome to a live podcast. I warmly extend my arms out to you that you found the right spot. You're here to fight CPS with Bob Pace. Now, I know many of you have been listening to me for this past year. I've come on and tried to talk about one of the hardest things that happened to me in my life. CPS is about families. And I do apologize for starting late this morning. I had a very important talk with one of my three sons. He's a middle-aged son. He's still a young teenager. He's only 25. But at one time, he and I, because of CPS, had drifted apart. And we now talk to each other. And that's a real plus thing. And so this morning, I had to spend some time. Family is called family. And that's what this is all about. I value you all as my family. Now, this thing I keep referring to, CPS, it translates to the child protection system. And the reason why I say system, because every county in every state may have different names for the CPS system. Child protection is the center theme of it. But some of it's called services. Some of the places, like even two counties, Orange County and LA County, close to each other. Orange County is Child Protection Services, where LA County's Department of Children and Family Services. So I just use CPS to make it simple. When I say CPS, I mean all the acronyms out there, whether you're in Nebraska or Pennsylvania or Florida, or even in another country, like in the country of Mozambique in Africa, or in Bangladesh, or Saudi Arabia in the Middle East. CPS is the same worldwide. It's an agency that's supposed to protect children. And it's a government agency. It's an agency that the government had to institute because so many children over the years, like in the United States, there was the problem with the children that were working at ages 12 or 9 or 10 or 7. They had the Labor Act and things like that. Children have always been a victim over the years. And CPS really breaks it into three parts. They say the first part of CPS was from 1600 to 1875. And why they pick 1875, I don't know, but that was the start. Or not the start, but that was the revolution going on to put Indians, the first immigrants to the United States, on reservations. And their children were being taken. and adopted, because a lot of people can't have children. A lot of people lost children and want to replace a child. And they find out that CPS is an easy way to adopt children, to get children. Now, from 1875 to 1962 is the second phase. And that period had a lot of societies that would protect the children. But children were really, a lot of times they had problems physically and they weren't taken care of. This is Christmas time. And I always think of the story at Christmas about the little boy and his dad who worked for a guy that's called Scrooge. And I do know of some Scrooges. And it's sad because right now we have in this world a young man that decided to take another man's life. And that is so hard out there. It's so hard. And I'm bringing in all these philosophical ideas, but I just try to make my show more open and warmly to you guys, because I really want to help you with your battle with the child protection system. It is really tough out there when you get in that system. I've found, and over 600 people have told me, that the CPS is corrupt. There was a woman that was a senator in Georgia, a fine woman, that was murdered in her 70s. And I know what 70s are like because I am 75 years old. I'm a dinosaur. And it's hard to believe that when I got involved in the CPS, I was 60 at the time. I had children later in my life, so. Yes, TB, I hear you. I'm glad that you are going through it. I have been going through it for 15 years. And at age 60, unfortunately, I lost my job. And that was through no fault of my own. I was working at a very nice career job. I had very nice income. I was very fortunate. I had a beautiful home at the beach. Lived in a private neighborhood. And I have 6 beautiful children. 3 are older and they're grown up. There are 2 of them in their 30s and 1 is in their 40s. Then I have 3 young children. And at the time of my involvement with CPS, they were 9, 12, and 15. And now there are 22, 19, and 25. And when I went through CPS, it ended me because they got me at a worst time of my life. When you lose your job, I put away money. I had money put away. But my mortgage payments were very expensive. I think with my property taxes and mortgages and all the loans I had out there, I had to at least earn $5,000 just to take care of that a month. And then with all the added expenses, I need another 5. So my expenses were really expensive, which I feel is expensive. $10,000 a month I was paying, and I had a job that I could afford and put away some savings. But CPS started interfering in my life. First, for 5 years, and I don't know why 5 years, I had these phone calls and meetings with CPS about things that weren't not true. What had happened is that a layperson, or actually lay persons, because those are one of the individuals that can call into CPS. I've even seen it here in the neighborhood where I live right now. I have a car. Its registration is paid, but it's having trouble with smog. And so I can't get my sticker. So I have neighbors in my neighborhood who live in these $2 million homes. And I live in an apartment now. And they're calling about my no sticker on the car. And I'm getting tickets all the time. I'm fighting. That's my news battle right now. fighting a car, even though I paid it. And the trouble is, they say my transmission has codes, so I need the new transmission. Well, if any of you know anything about cars, a new transmission can be anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. I know because my son's car that I gave him, I had to get a new transmission for him, so I loaned him the money. And that's another thing too. I loaned him lots of money. He was going through hard times. So I gave all my savings, that $10,000 I'd saved, and he can't pay me back at the worst time of my life because I am really struggling. And right now I got a job that pays me $280 a week. But sometimes I got to wait 11, 12 days before I get paid. And if most of you know, that's not a lot. And my rent here, which I'm very blessed it's low, is $2,700 for a 3-bedroom home. So a lot of you may be in the similar situation where you don't have the money to hire an attorney or see any things. Now, TB, I have no idea where you're from, but you're going to file a federal lawsuit. Well, you can file a lawsuit against CPS. And I agree that they are monsters. That's a new name for them. CPS are monsters. I like to know where you're from, TB. I try to know that from everybody. And it's great you want to file a federal lawsuit, but your case with CPS must be closed. That's one of the things I didn't know at first. And if you file a federal lawsuit, you need an attorney. And for me to file a lawsuit, which I have a good one, is a social worker committed perjury lying on the witness stand. It would cost me $50,000 retainer. And it's so interesting why $50,000 comes up. It's so interesting why $50,000 comes up. When I lost my job through no fault of my own, I could have sued the state of California. Because what they did is that I had over $53 million worth of work, of public work contracts, the state of California. But the state of California was going bankrupt like Detroit City was. So the governor at the time, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back, that guy, decided to freeze the funds, the public funds, and take the funds and use it to keep the state alive. Apparently, I'm one of the individuals that helped keep the state of California alive. So they took my $53 million and used it. Then he wrote me IOUs on public awarded contracts. Now, it would cost me $50,000 to sue the state of California to get 53. And the owner of my company said he didn't see it practical to spend $50,000 and only get $3,000 net in return. So I closed my doors on general contracting. Yeah, I'm a civil engineer. I had 45 years experience in that. I lose track of my time. I'm one of those individuals that start out in life working in high school, not waiting to after my high school or college. I started working. And my first job was the summer of 64, the year that my wife was born. And I got my first bank account. Little did I know that 45 years later or 50 years later, I'd have to sue Bank of America because of a predatory loan. It wasn't their doing, really. It was countrywide. So I had all these things going on in my life. It was terrible. And I'm dealing with these people that call up and sit there and say, your kids are not going to school. When I know factually they go to school. I had the report cards to show them they had A's and B's. And then he said they didn't have clothing. I said, I don't think the school allowed children to go to school naked. Then they said you didn't pay the utility bills. I showed them my utility bills. Then he said you don't have food to feed the children. I took them in my home. They loved my home. I mean, it's high voltage ceilings. It was built in 1998. And it had the push button power switches. and it had central vacuum, meaning you could plug in the wall outlet and vacuum your house. Each child had their own bedroom. Each child had their bathroom. The parent suite was something to dream for. Double door opened up to the master suite. Walk-in closets, his and hers. A jacuzzi in a corner. A water closet in another corner. All the privacy. A walk-in shower. It had a swimming pool in the back, and either were close to the beach, a mile from the beach. And it wasn't your typical swimming pool. It was a rock swimming pool. And on top of that, they had jacuzzi. Anyway, it was a beautiful home. But they were sitting there trying to pin me on it. And it was once a week. What I later found out, it was my wife's mother and father and her 3 sisters and brothers are calling once a week from Ohio. So that was my beginning with CPS. And this went on for 5 years until they got a hold of the police and said, we want to see his home again. We want to find something on this guy. We know he's broke. We know he can't afford an attorney. They want to get me when I'm down. And I'm educated, but I was buffaloed because I believed in the government. I believed in the government. And I should have known better. I should have known that when you fight CPS, your first duty is to get an attorney. And I'm talking about a real attorney, like the gentleman that just talked, Vincent Davis. He is a pit bull of an attorney. He's been fighting CPS for 35 years. He is a juvenile family dependency lawyer. He schooled well in dependency law. That's what the child protection system uses. That's what they use. And so I should have known better because I would never have lost my 3 kids. My 3 young kids, when they came out 5 years later, and the police detective tracked me down so he could follow me and then had me pulled over by a bogus charge. And I talked to him. He ordered me to my home. He ordered me to open up my home. Now, I'm always respectful to police officers. In fact, I have had police officer training. I went to academy in Virginia as part of my job as an ocean lifeguard at Virginia Beach, Virginia. I had to take police courses because we had to do arrests on the beach. We had to apprehend people. People think the rescue can or the buoy is something we use to hold people up as a flotation device. It also is a good weapon to knock someone down that maybe is going to charge harm on other people. And so, anyway, I took the police course, and you're supposed to do something called protect and serve the people. Protect and serve. This police guy was doing everything that CPS asked us. He violated all my constitutional rights, all my civil rights. Did you know that you don't have to open your home to anybody? They can only go into your home of 3 ways. 1, you give them permission, which I did. 2, if there's domestic violence going on and the child is in danger with the parents swinging at each other or hurting the child, they'll go in. And 3, something called a warrant. But the CPS have learned how to manipulate a warrant. They'll use a fake warrant on you. That's why you can't trust them. You have to look at that warrant to see if it's on paper. A PDF file on a computer won't work because they can alter things. They use old warrants from other cases and try to change things. One thing to recognize on that warrant, you look for that wet signature. It'll be in ink, and it'll be raised by a stamp. There's a hand stamp that the clerk gives in court when the judge signs it that raises his signature up so it's not smooth on the paper. And that way it's hard to forge when they use that stamp. Also, it's got to give you the correct date and time they can do the investigation, the correct address, who the person they're accusing of, and who was harmed, what were the charges. All that's got to be on the paper, and also instructions what they can do. Talk to you, take your children, search the home. And like a fool, I didn't do that. I allowed them into my home. And I should have known something was up there because they had called in 5 firemen 2 code enforcement, 3 social workers, 2 uniformed policemen, and a police detective all standing in my front yard. My neighbors must have thought, my God, what's the guy doing? He's running a drug company? He's manufacturing illegal drugs? And they searched the home from top to bottom. And the only thing they came up with is they charged her with negligence. Why? Because when my dad had died, he asked me, son, can you help us with our belongings of 55 years? Because that's how long they've been married. And give them to family and friends. I said, sure, Dad, I'll try. I don't have money to put them in storage, but I'll take them to my home. Well, he had a 3,000 square foot home. And my mom was very ill and sick. And so what I did is I took them to my home. But when I took them to my home, I had to put them somewhere. I tried at first to put them out on the carport with a tarp over the furniture and the boxes. But I belong to a private community that has CC&Rs. You're not allowed to do that. Then I brought them into the home, but that cluttered the living room. And because of the clutter in the living room, they charged me with neglect. They said the children could be hurt by a fallen furniture or falling box. Well, my children were taller than any of the boxes that were stacked or the furniture was stacked. It was a temporary situation. But they charged me with that. Not only that, the police detective decided to, I shouldn't say the police detective because he didn't investigate that part, but the district attorney decided to tack on 3 counts of sexual charges. Nothing mentioned, just said sex charges. I did not know later on that's their ploy to use as a bargaining chip so you accept the lesser of the 2 things. It's all a ploy. I did not know how deceitful the government is from top to bottom. I've been seeing a lot of the government exposed these past year with the elections taking place, seeing how people are so bad, so evil. And killing someone is not the right answer. We need to work together. That's why I call my room a family. Every one of you is a family to me. Every one of you, I want to help. I want to help you fight your case. I want to help you. I'm not a lawyer, but I have 15 years of fighting CPS. I have a lot of experience. I have 5 rules I've made up. 1, you get an attorney. 2, you organize your documents. 3, you say no to social workers and police and don't let them in. Let them take your children, even when it's a medical issue. 4 is you search the internet. You spend 60, 70 hours, but you have to phrase your question right. And 5 is you gather up all your important documents, make copies, put them in an envelope, and have them with you, like marriage certificates, birth certificates, report cards, shot records, health paperwork, driver's licenses, things like that. You got to organize. So those are my 5 rules, and I can go into more my other shows. There's over 700 shows I've made that go into detail about a lot of things. Now, I've been putting messages up in my room of how they interact. The first step is you're in this room, and I'm glad you did it. You found me on Facebook, Fight CPS. And right now, there are 8 rooms that channel you here to me. And while you're in the room, you can do emojis, take notes, and you can actually text in questions or comments by texting me the messages. Also, you can be a guest on my show. I love to have guests. I have room for 9 spots. Me makes it 10. And we can all be talking at once and helping each other. All you have to do is email it to Grace, my show producer, at vincentwdavis.com. And I put my number up so I can take phone calls. My phone is turned on. It will take messages. I use Vonage. as the application. I just got to make sure my screensaver is off. Now, we had TB start off with the discussions, and you say, what should you do? Well, step one is you get yourself a lawyer. Step two, you get yourself a notebook with 3 rings and a hole puncher and start organizing all your documents and get subject dividers. Also, you should start something called a time log incident. It's a timeline. Every time you have an incident, whether it's with the attorney, whether it's with the police, whether it's with the social worker, whether it's with the school or other people, you make a recording of the incident. And you record the incident. First online is with the date, the time, the location of people involved. The second thing is a summary, a 1-sentence summary of what the incident's about. The third thing is the outcome. If you don't know the outcome, leave a blank. But you do that for each incident because in a year's time, you won't remember everything. Your case is going to take at least 3 years, a CPS case. So hopefully that little bit of advice will help you, TB. I don't know where you're from, but I'm so sorry. And I'm sorry your son is brainwashed there. Also, I want to welcome Techcom. And we can't abolish CPS. We need to protect our children. We need to reorganize it. We need to have control of it. It needs to have a board of directors, as supervisors. They need to analyze the money being spent. They need to make everybody accountable in CPS. CPS needs to get licensed. They need to be trained. They need college degrees. That's the kind of people. They need to be mentoring somebody for at least 5 years before they take on this important job. So CPS, Nancy Schaefer wanted to abolish CPS. I'd like to see it changed. I like to see it go in there starting off with the board of directors and policy made. So TP is in California, but her case is in Texas. And she says her husband, the son's father, committed perjury and took her son to Texas. And I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. And that's wrong to drop the son at a mental institution. Well, you need to keep fighting, but you need to talk to an attorney. And if you come on my show, by the way, anybody that talks on my show through my phone or as a guest on my show gets a free 15-minute consultation with one of the top dependency lawyers in the country, Vincent Davis, who has fought CPS. He's also done civil lawsuits, both in federal and state, and won millions of dollars. He's the real deal. He does fight. So right now, I'm offering you free 15-minute session with him, a Zoom meeting. Now, TechCom, there is no justice on stolen land fighting terrorism since 1492. That's interesting. I think 1492 is when Columbus discovered Puerto Rico. Okay, we got a phone call coming in. Super. Good morning and welcome. I'm Bob Pace. Yeah, and who am I speaking to?
This is TB. My name is Nika.
Okay, Nika, so glad to meet you. And I so enjoyed what you're saying. And sometimes I get off and sidetrack and talk about my involvement only to help you all not have to go through, because it can happen to anybody, no matter if you're a rich person or a poor person. They get people when people are down and out. Down and out. That's when they attack people. What would you like to?
Yeah.
Your case is your son has been put into a mental institution by, was that your boyfriend or husband?
That is my ex-husband.
Right. Okay. Your ex-husband is the one that took away your son and put him in the mental. How old is your son?
My son recently turned 15 in August.
50?
15.
Oh, 15. Okay. So he's still a minor. He's still a minor. You know, at 18, he can come to you. You know that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because at 18, he's considered adult, but you got to be careful. CPS will try to keep him because they need more money. That's the whole thing that people don't understand, is that they continue to get money until they're 18. And if you don't say anything, they'll keep them in 18, 19. There's a woman that lost a son who's 19, and he's been lost in Texas. He's from Georgia, but they moved him to Texas to try to help his special needs. And then he turned 18 and he wanted to see his mother. But I think at that time when he was 18, his mother was still incarcerated. But her mother's out and she's been trying to get her son back. And he's still in limbo. And CPS is still making a fortune after that one child.
Yeah, they've been a nightmare. It's been hell, to say the least. I had to take a leave of absence from work. Due to all of the stress, emotional stress, and because my son was brainwashed, that didn't really help the situation either. And they're basically requesting hair follicle test and fingerprinting. I'm in California, and they're actually asking me to pay for these things. They have no merit. But from what I was told, they're going by what my son says, mind you, who's being treated with different prescription medications, multiple medications, and just lost his father to suicide.
Oh, so no. I'm sorry to hear that. I do need to catch up a little bit. Stay there. Don't leave yet. But I want to welcome these other people here. We have Taekum from Los Angeles County, California, in here. We have I Love Drawing. Her name is Allie. She's been on here. Allie, her handle is I Love Drawing, is from Merced, California. And there were several people from Merced, California yesterday. And so welcome, Allie, again. I'm glad that you're here. And again, welcome, Taekum. And then you said they lie and are underhandly, and judge seems to side with them, at least in Texas. It does everywhere. The judge, the court bailiff, the court clerk, the social workers, attorneys, the social workers, they all have lunch together. They all play golf together. They're in cahoots. Judges are elected by the people, but people don't take much chance to look at the qualifications of a judge. My judge was terrible. My judge was about collision claims and car accidents, not about reunification. Allie further says, she said she forgot to mention yesterday that if you forget to mention follow up, I forgot. That's fine, Allie. I'm glad that you did. And I agree with you. It's Nicholas. Is your name Nicholas or Nikki? TV? Nika. All right. Nika says not a public defender. Yeah. You don't want to get a public defender. That's the worst. That's like dying. What happens is that CPS hopes you get a public defender. Why? Because the public defender is a new lawyer. He has criminal background, but not dependency law background. He'll have a caseload of 30 more clients. so he won't have time for your case. He will not fight. He'll choose to use his way. You're going to lose your case with a public defender, or if you get a court-appointed attorney, which is the same thing. The public defender or the court-appointed attorney are beginning lawyers that don't have the experience, that will not fight for your case and have a workload as too many people. So you got to stay away from them. I know they're free, but you have to be careful what comes for free. Also, you have to be careful with picking an attorney. Too many people have thrown away $40,000 on the wrong kind of attorney. You got to pick an attorney, and you need to ask two important things when you talk to an attorney. One, are you a juvenile family dependency lawyer that has fought CPS? If the answer is yes, you ask the second question. Have you ever fought CPS in a civil matter, either in state or federal court, and won your case? And if the answer is yes, then you've got yourself an attorney that you want to consider. And always try to get 3 quotes. Always try to get 3 quotes. Then you're going to have to come up with the funding. I had to sell my home. That was the hardest thing to do. After working 45 years to sell your home, I had a quick sale because I needed to get the money. My problem is my mortgage was stretched out to the max. So I got very little money, but I got enough to fight and hire Mr. Davis and get my boys back. I did not get my daughter back, but that was because of a social worker doing retaliation. She was caught on the witness stand committing perjury, and she wanted to get revenge. And she said to us parents, "You've never seen your daughter." So she had my daughter emancipate from us, our family. That means divorce. And then change her name and seal her birth certificate, get a new birth certificate, a new social security card, and adopted to foster care. And that's how you have to have you have to be really careful. TB says, I need an SOB. Well, Vincent Davis is a pit bull. He knows how to do it. I was listening to one of his podcasts the other day called Office Hours, and it's free. And I listened to it, and he talked about how if you don't have people subpoenaed in court, you've lost your case, because you can write down all the magical words you can, but that's hearsay. You need the person. Like if it's a doctor's report, you need to have the doctor present. So that's one thing. I learned something even still today. Now, I love drawing, which is Allie. Wow, I didn't know what happened with the text above. That's okay. Sometimes it's a glitch. All right. Then back, TB says, any good lawyer will usually take a case on contingency because they know confidently they have a high chance. Well, I wish that was true, but it seems like a lot of lawyers are really scared of CPS, and not too many will do contingencies. And the same thing, I think of anything in this world that is scared. Now, I had a good chance to sue the state of California, and I would have won my case because I used public funds that were awarded to me. But I would have to hire an attorney, and I got a quote of $50,000. That's a lot of money to sue somebody. Yes, there'd be a contingency, but they were afraid of the state of California. You know, politics, there's one person right now that seems that he has enough money that he could fight things, and that's the businessman. That's our president-elect, who's been president before. And hopefully he will straighten our country up and run like business. Right now, most people don't like the board that he's put together, his group of his cabinet. And he's got people, whether they're man, woman, military, not military. He selects, first of all, criteria is their loyalty to the president, and second of all, they're fighters. You need a pit bull in government, and we need to shake up government. And we'll shake up CPS. We'll shake up CPS. And right now, Allie, I love drawing. There's no one from Merced, California. I do have a person, TB, that's from California. Now, this thing is They're asking for a live scan and a hair follicle. Now, you can deny that and say, "I'm going to get my own doctor to do that," but you're going to have to ask the judge, and you have to go before the judge and say, "I want you to approve this doctor. This is my doctor, and I want you to prove him that he can take it." Because if you do their doctor or their thing, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem because they're going to use somebody that works for CPS. That's not fair. It's not fair. Yes, I agree. They're very deceitful. You've hit it right on the button there. And corruption, yes. Ever since President Clinton signed into law in 1997 called the Incentive Law, where they give extra money to the CPS, the federal government does, for putting children into foster care. They want to forget about family reunification. You see, CPS is supposed to do family reunification. When they break up a family and take a child from extreme danger, they're supposed to do family reunification. That means have the parents do the things they think is wrong, like parenting classes or programs if they have a drug-related problem, and then get them back with the family. That should be the goal. That is the primary goal. That's why ICWA, it took them 100 years, but the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1978 helped Indian children stop being taken by CPS and automatically put in foster care. You see, when I was talking about the history of CPS in 1975, that was the year that a lot of people were being put into reservations, a haircut, their language no longer spoken, and their customs erased, and children taken from the family and put them into Indian schools where they were abused. You know, that's the thing is, in foster care, the kids are abused. They're either bullied by the children of the foster care parents or molested by the dad or the mom. There's so much corruption in foster care, it's unbelievable. There is. It just really is bad out there. Now, Betty, I want to welcome you back, Betty, who's been on my show before. Thank you for coming back. TechCan has another comment. There is so much thing. There's no such thing as the American dream with these criminal child services and police. I agree. Well, not only CPS is bad, but look at our mortgages. Where's the dream about owning a home when you got to spend so much more on food? Food in the last couple of weeks gone up 50 cents. The CEOs of companies are making money. Right now, there is nobody, and I'm not trying to put down the rich class because one time I was one there, but they never have a chance to feel what it is with food prices going up. If you're making $250,000 a year, then you're fine. You'll make it all right. But the majority of the people, there's no such thing as a middle class in America anymore, I feel. I feel we're a third world country because the definition of a third world country is there's no middle class. You either have the poor class, the people that are making under $50,000, that's considered poor in the United States. That is poor. If you're making $100,000, which takes two incomes, you're now in the poor area. Middle class starts up at the $150,000 range. But we don't have those. We either have the rich or the poor. And so it is hard. It is hard. The American dream has been shattered. Techcom. And by the way, if you want to be on my podcast, set up with my show producer, Grace, to be a guest, and you'll get your 15 minutes with Vincent Davis. No, it's never too time to leave America. And why do I say that? Because my background, I'm a world traveler. I've been to over 50 countries. For 25 years, I was on the surfing circuit, going from country to country, year long, at surfing contests, living out of a bag. And I always appreciate coming back to the United States. My favorite place in this world is Honolulu Bay in Kauai. Honolulu Bay in Kauai. That's one of the islands of the Hawaiian Islands. It's also still part of the United States. If I had a good job, I'd love to live in Honolulu. I love the Polynesian people, the cultures. I love the United States. I love the cultures. I love how you can come on to my podcast and talk to me, TechCom. I love how you have that privilege. You're part of my family, my podcast. I've been doing this for a year, and I have over 700 podcasts. I do this twice a day. I do it at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and I do it at night at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That's 14 shows a week. I never miss it because of holidays. I'm here Christmas, Easter. I'm here New Year's, 4th of July. I'm here at Thanksgiving. My Thanksgiving was doing the podcast at 7 o'clock with you as my family. CPS ruined my Thanksgiving. And how they did it, they broke up my family. Right now, I was a family of 8. Now I'm a family, luckily, of 4. 4 of my family members, which are my children, don't want to talk to mom and dad anymore. They've been brainwashed by my in-laws, my wife's parents. And so my Thanksgiving was spent with you. You guys are family. That's what I love about America. America can let anybody run for president. No matter if you shoot them 4 times or you have 10 lawsuits or 100 lawsuits or whatever it is, no matter what you do, you can run for president. And why would anybody run for president that's shot at 4 times, have over 100 lawsuits, and want to take the job for free? He's not going to get paid as president. So, yeah, I like to be in America because right now the whole world is worried. Right now there's debate whether he's going to invite China to come to the inauguration. What president ever had a communist country come here for president? I mean, that is something really bizarre. I don't know if Russia will be here, but anyway, he doesn't like wars. He wants to end the war. I think nobody likes wars. We just saw Syria fall, and that was done by rebels. And these rebels are good. They're helping people out. There's a guy locked up in a room for 3 months, and the news people were there, and they blew off the lock, and they let the guy out for free. And he is so shocked. He is so shocked. So that's a good thing. We have a bounty on the rebel that took over the Syrian government. We have a bounty on him, a $10 million bounty, because of his connection with ISIS and what happened with ISIS and so forth. So America is the land where anybody can do anything they want to be or be free or whatever it is. Good morning, beautiful wife. I think it's important to tell people that you love them, that you care about them, that they're beautiful. So I'm trying to answer the questions, and TB, who's on my phone right now, is there another question? I have something here. You said something is wrong with these people. Not sure how they downed the rabbit hole, but definitely needs a change. Yes, you've heard my story about Alice in Wonderland. I describe CPS is like your Alice in Wonderland, and you've fallen in the rabbit hole, and you met the Cheshire Cat, who sends you to this room and to that room. And one room says, off with your head. Off with your head. That's how CPS is. They will bring you up. They'll make you promises they don't keep, that you sign this paper or that paper. But they take your child. They're only interested in money. They're so deceitful. They've ruined my family. My family of 8 is ruined because of CPS. They're the main instigators. They take what people say to be the truth. If someone calls in, you're automatically guilty until you're proven innocent. This is the only legal system where you are guilty until you're proven innocent. Not only that, they have a habit of taking your family right away. They took 3 of my children that weren't in danger. They were in school. How does being in a school, one is in a private school, 2 are in public schools, how's that danger? And then for that public defender who wants to make a big case out of me, I don't know why. My name is engraved in the sidewalk of where I live. I don't know why. I have still to this day do not know what they did, but they did. They wanted to charge me and my wife sexual charges just to intimidate us. CPS didn't. CPS didn't. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hello, who's this?
Hey, Bob, this is Allie from Merced County.
Oh, hi, Allie. I got Nicole on the phone. Let me go ahead and ask her if she'd give up her time and I can talk to you, Allie, okay?
Okay.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
TB, I got you here. Would you like to speak to Mr. Davis since you've called on the phone?
I would love to.
Okay, all you have to do is text me your full name, your phone number, and your email. My phone number is up there, 626-698-0990. And I'll go ahead and take Allie's call, and you can call back again, but more people want to call in, okay?
Okay, I will text you that. Thank you.
I'm not going to abandon you. I'm on again tonight at 7, all right? Thank you.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, bye-bye. Okay. Allie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Allie is talking on the show. She's been on my show, I think, the last little bit there. Her handle is I Love Drawing. Is that you?
Yes, it is.
And you're from Merced, California. And I had 2 other people from Merced, California. So welcome, Allie. I was trying to help out TB with her thing. And so I also got Tepcon, who, says the American dream's gone and move out of the country and things like that. I'm trying to tell him it's not. It will.
Hopefully with Trump back in office.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, it will. It's time to. Yeah, I don't want to leave America. I don't want to leave America. And Betty has called in before. I forgot where Betty's from. You might have to remind me, Betty. I talked to the child gal, and she told me that they're going to make the motion to place my child with me. Oh, good news, Betty. I'm so glad to hear that. You're going to get your child back. Wow.
That's the best thing that can happen.
Wow. That is a really good thing, Betty. That's really a good thing. And TB also says something wrong with these people. Not sure how to down the rabbit. Yeah, we've talked about the rabbit hole. And I have a new person called Freeman. Yes, sir. They need to be accountable and trained then to hold the standards. I agree, Freeman. Where are you from, Freedom? Where are you from? And Techum is back again. I need the Zoom meeting. Okay, Techum, you can either call in and as soon as I get through with Allie here, or you can be a guest on my podcast by writing to Grace, my show producer. Right now, I have 53 marks, so I'm running short on time. Now, Betty again says, I talked with the child guy. Okay, we already talked about getting your child back. Yeah. I'm sorry. Now, this is you, Allie. TB to ask my mother, who we have lived with my daughter entire life, for a hair follicle test, miss, just so my daughter could be placed with her as a resource parent. She's 71 years old now. Wow. 71 years old and they want to do that.
Yeah, they took a hair follicle test from my mom and then a urine test so my daughter could possibly be placed back in her home where we've lived my daughter's entire life. I'm living in a tent since CPS took my daughter just so that my daughter could possibly be placed back in our family home. And they ran my mom through every test, every loophole they could. and it came down to her taking a hair follicle test and a urine test, which she passed, obviously. And they're still wanting to try to move my daughter 6 hours away, down actually towards Inland, LA County. And it's a bunch of bullshit here in Merced, and we need help. And I was listening to how your children were taken, and they did the same thing with me. They actually had came out under text messages that really didn't make any sense at all, and followed through with sexual allegations based on those.
Oh, I know. This thing about sexual allegations, to this day, they never defined what the sex charges were. The district attorney. Go ahead.
They told me in my case that, and I could prove, but my attorney refused to get body cam. My criminal attorney refused to get body cam from the sheriff. I can prove that the CPS investigating worker had actually lied and had put what I said in the report as my daughter's statement, and said that we were having sexual intercourse with my daughter in the same bed, and it was a twin mattress. And my boyfriend at the time is 200 pounds, 6'2", and if you can imagine 2 adults and a 10-year-old child in a twin bed, that's not possible.
Well,
yeah. Well, that they were actually going through with
the ploys are. Hold on 1 second. I got someone calling in. Hold on a second here. Hold on. Bob Pace, who's this?
Hi, yeah, this is Alex calling from your
Are you TechCom? Are you TechCom?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be right with you in a couple minutes. Let me let Allie go, okay? Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Allie, can you hear me? Allie?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to not end it complete with you. I do like to see all your questions. Pro bono. I don't know about pro bono. It depends. Some people are pro bono or not. Vincent Davis, I don't know if he'll do contingency. When you meet with him, you can ask him. Okay.
Oh, that wasn't my question. I think that was TV's.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I get confused.
Here in Merced County, we couldn't get a class action lawsuit going because we desperately need it here.
When you talk with Vincent Davis, he has a case up there in Merced County. Talk to him about your case, okay?
Okay, yes, because I've talked to a lot at your office for the past 5 years. This is a retaliatory detention of my daughter because I raised so much hell when they took my son illegally 5 years ago while he was with his father. Yeah. And my daughter that they just took from me now was with me. And because we have visitation, I had to let my son go see his dad. Well, his dad was arrested with him, and I raised so much hell trying to get my son out of the system that everybody warned me that if they got a phone call for any reason at all, that they would be out for blood and they would take my daughter. And they did. They took
all right.
My daughter.
Will you text me at my number so you could talk to Vincent Davis?
Yes, I will.
All I need is your full name, your phone number, and your email. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I think I texted you it yesterday, but I'll make sure and I'll double check.
Well, I'll double check. If you text me yesterday, then I'll double check because I'm behind a little bit. But please do so. Also, I want to thank you, but can you call me back tonight or the next day and we can talk further, okay?
Okay, yes, I'll call you back tonight, or we can do if you like, I can be a video guest again on your show.
Yeah, I would love that. Please schedule that with Grace at vincentwdavis.com.
Okay, yes, and I'd like to just let it out there again. Anybody in Merced County, let's all get together, and if we have to protest outside this damn courthouse,
that would be good. That would be good. That was Ian. Was one of the people I remember too. Okay, I will talk to you.
I talked with Jonathan too.
Okay.
So,
All right. Good. Got Jonathan Ian. All right. I will talk to you again. Okay.
okay, thank you, Bob.
God bless you. Okay. I know you had a hard time. Your name is Alex, right? Hello. Is your name Alex?
Yes.
Right. Glad to meet you, Alex. And just so you can refresh my memory, where are you from?
Los Angeles County, California.
Oh, you're at the bad county. Oh, good.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yep. Well, what I'm going to have you do, since you're talking to me on my show, I'm going to have you text me at my show number 626-698-0990. And I don't mean to be cutting you short, but my time is up. It's already after 11 o'clock. I've run over my time.
And what did you say your cell was?
It's right now showing up on the screen. It's 626-698-0990. It's the one you're calling in on.
Oh, okay.
And all you do
want me
is
to
text
I can
your
text you on
full
that?
name, your phone number, and your email, and I'll forward it on to get a Zoom meeting scheduled for you for 15 minutes. It's a private Zoom meeting with Vincent Davis.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I appreciate that a
Yeah,
lot.
he's in Arcadia.
I'll go ahead and do that right now.
Right, you can do that. So I want to thank you, Alex, for all your comments and what you said. Don't give up the American dream. Stay here in the United States. USA is still the safest place to live in. And it still is the American dream.
You know, when they're trying to take our kids and, lie and cheat, and the cops came over yesterday with child services and broke in my home.
Yeah, they will. They'll
with
do
a
things
warrant.
illegal. I know, they'll do things illegal. But anyway, I do have to sign off. I want to thank you, Alex, and your Los Angeles County. Thank you, Alex. All right.
Thank you.
To all the people that are still listening, TB, I want to thank you for calling in and talking. I love dancing. I'm using your handles here. I love drawing. I'm sorry. I love drawing. And that was Bella. Betty, I want to thank you for calling in from Montana. Let me see who else we have here. We have Techcom, who was just Alex, just talked to me. We've had a lot of interesting calls from a lot of you. TB, you gave me a lot of good questions. Please return. So God bless you all. This is going to be a tough one for you, but please keep fighting for your children. Don't give up. I'm here. I'm your family. I'm here twice a day, 7 days a week. I would love to help you as best as I can. I'd love to help you. So God bless. This is Bob Pace signing off.
Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out. Join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.